Hey everybody, it's Dr. Lusheen. Every week I would like to provide some sort of summary review of performance and maybe look forward to the next week just to help you guys out because I think immediate feedback tends to help us improve. So let's get to this. So first, the purpose of Module 1 was I provided more videos for you to watch, of course, than I normally do. And tried to reduce the number of readings just to kind of ease everybody in. And then we had spring break, which currently I'm enjoying. But the whole purpose was to look at the field of safety from its birth, which I think is the Industrial Revolution, because prior to that, safety, I think, was built into the work itself. And people were taught trades, and safety is part of it. And then the invention of a work organization, which came out of the Industrial Revolution, kind of forced this field of safety that we have to figure out based on this dynamic environment, how to safely have workers complete what their charges are. So with that, and then we also covered some of the main attributes of an effective safety program, which again, it really just trying to lay a foundation. That's what it was all about, and it was trying to ease you into the course. Here's some of the performance stats that I'll be kind of providing to you each week. So the blue is this semester. The pink or purple, mauve, is a year ago, so spring of 2024. So 2025, what you could do is you can kind of look at your own effort or your own performance in this class. But what we have here is the average time was about 7 3/4 hours. The median, which is the 50th percentile, is closer to 5 hours 4/8. I'm sorry. No, what am I saying? Yeah, 8/10, 4/5. One person must have left it on overnight because they had 27 hours logged in. The lowest was a 0.14. That's concerning. That means that somebody only spent not even 10 minutes working on their course. And we did have a few people who didn't turn anything in, so I think that's where that fell. Standard deviation of 7 hours. The number of touches as far as how many things were open, and it does include multiple things, the average of about 138. The median is 132. So that's really close. Standard deviation, that's a bit wide. Somebody got really busy, looked at stuff multiple times. One person only touched 19 things. If you're, when a class just starts out, you expect this to be a pretty high number. So it's possible somebody wasn't opening or touching everything that was there, in which case that provides unknown expectations, and that can lead to lower scores. The number of posts, the average was 10, median was 10. This includes the icebreaker, by the way. So these are some of the higher numbers, the highest numbers you're going to see. Somebody went off, and that's great. One person only posted one thing. I think we only had one person not participate in the discussion. So that would have been their introduce yourself. They didn't reply to anybody. And standard deviation was 4. For the discussion scores, I try to be a little bit closer to the expectation for scoring, whereas last spring, I was a little bit more generous. But basically, we had only a couple people that posted 9 or more times, and this is just on the weekly discussion, not the introduce yourself. If you just did 4 posts, they were timely and of substance, you get an 85. That's the expectation, the minimum expectation. Anything lower than that, you got below 70. So if you go post 2 things, at 11:58, you're probably only going to get maybe a 60, 65. So please get on there, interact. So if you go on Sunday morning, and you read stuff and you post, that's okay. I count everything up until about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. After that, it's a lot of people are not going to see what you post, so you're not really in the discussion. This week we're broken down into smaller groups, so you'll have an opportunity to speak more just to certain people. And it looked like only one person had posted something during spring break so far, so that's okay. That's fine. Maybe some people will post over the weekend. And then as far as the assignment goes, We had some lower scores. I think we had 2 people who didn't submit. Though when I put on there and like upload it for scoring, and if you miss something, please, you can, augment, improve, and resubmit for scoring. You can do that. I have no problem with that. But I'm going to talk about in a second here what people were missing. As far as the number of posts for the icebreaker, a little bit lower than last spring, but we had a few excited people last spring who really kind of carried things. I also look to make sure everybody's really, touching and looking at everything. And we got a few assigned readings here that not everybody opened. Even though I created a video to review things for you to reduce your workload, I still want you to look at them. Here's the thing. If I see this as a trend, I will stop recording, and then you guys can read them all. So please open them up, take a look at them, even though I'm reviewing them. Please, 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 please. Yeah, kind of. It looks like there's 2 students who didn't even watch the lecture videos. How about the intro stuff? Where's the intro? Yeah, a lot of people didn't even watch the intro video. Maybe they watched it through a link that I had sent, but man, you're missing some vital information if you're not looking at those. So I reiterate the number of posts, the quality posts, the timeliness of posts, engagement. That's what it's all about, because that's really the foundational concept for this course. And then the assignment each week, and this is where people were lost points. Too many students didn't provide a summary or review of the assigned papers and videos. I need to know that you guys are looking at it. I mean, I'm able to look at this to see if it's complete, but I don't see who didn't exactly do it. And so what I have to do is I have to purely grade you on the quality of your submission. So a couple lines that you could basically get by reading an abstract or reading the title, that doesn't count. I want some more depth. Share more than just recall the content to provide your interpretation of how you understand it. I think anybody who turned in something that was like a full 3 pages, really well laid out and labeled, 4 pages for sure, 5 pages for sure, they got really high points. It was the people who turned in like a page and a half, or just a page, or completely missed this stuff. They were the ones who had lower scores. And some turned in really late. You get deducted 10% each day on the max. That's one of my grading criterion. If you need more time, email me, and I can afford you more time. But when you just turn in late, that's my rule. And you just had to complete 1 reflective thinking. And I want more than just 3 sentences. Some of you, I was a little bit more liberal on grading that. Provide like half a page at least on one of these. Really challenge yourself, because that'll help you with the final assignment. Here's the reading assignments. Again, I do review some of them in my video. Lawler, Peterson, and Brown and Holmes. Brown and Holmes is one of my favorite papers, so I generated my dissertation topic. But I still want you to open up and take a quick look at them, either during or after you watch the video, and then you got 5 things to review. So I should see 8 summaries here. I don't think there's any additional videos or web links. I think that's it for this week. For this week's discussion, we've got 5 questions. So what I want you to do is identify what you're going to be answering and then answer it. And you can copy and paste it from up above. And I'm just kind of challenging you on a few topics that are related to what you read about. Again, I'm building up right now. We're building up to something in 5th week. I looked at your survey. Here's the thing. We had 3 people not complete the survey. You can still do it and get points. It's important to me. I'm kind of seeing some trends. There's some people I'm going to be looking out for based on what their responses were. And that's good. Not like you're going to be graded a certain way, but I'm looking out for you because this is what some of your beliefs are at this time. We got 16 of the 22 are enrolled in the MS and ESH currently. 6 students are in the MBA program, which was interesting because everybody said they had experience in EH except for 2 people. That was interesting. One has more than 10 years. She has some great insights. I'm going to be leaning on her. 5 to 10 is fantastic. So we've got a pretty experienced group, that makes it more fun for me. Over half of you have taken the research methods. It does not require it. I don't require you to look anything up. I will provide you with your readings. Just got to click on it or download it. But as we move into the project, you may want to find some additional, more recent publications. And I believe I provided a module where you can see and listen to videos that were created by myself and the librarian for 701. So you get the same sort of instruction that they got. This is already going longer than it should. What I found interesting is the question regarding worker behavior as the primary cause. Yeah, 8 of you agreed with that, which I thought was interesting. But I had really great responses. I'm along the lines of, I disagree with that. It may have contributed, but at least you hold off blaming, because we tend to blame, and that affects how they perceive management. And so we really need to take it a different way. We'll be talking about that this week. As far as the zero injury goal, only about 4 of you provided some form of agreement. 15 gave it the disagree. I completely agree with that too. A lot of you said, well, it'd be nice, or in theory, but it's not practical. I believe that zero injury goals actually negatively affect workers because they think, well, if I get hurt, it's obviously going to be blamed on me, and so I'm going to hide stuff. And that's why I don't like it. And I don't think it's a great goal either. There are things that not predate, but predict more likelihood of an injury occurring, and I'd rather measure those, because if I can minimize those, I'm less likely to get any. Not to say it's ever a chance of having like absolute zero, but it depends how you define injury too. The responses for the safety, environmental performance metrics, and organizational culture varied, but I was really impressed with your responses, and we will continue to investigate those concepts as we move forward in this course. But you all kind of started with, you guys didn't, there's some people who didn't know because you don't have the experience, but others, you had some really good insights. And so I was really impressed. I was impressed with your responses. This is the last slide. Sorry this took so long. Actually, I was going to show a video here, and I still may. And that is that I posted all WebEx reserve times. So here's what you guys voted for. Wednesday evening, Sunday mornings, and Sunday evenings were 1, 2, and 3 by far. I am also on campus Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 3 p.m. Central. We can always talk during that too. I'm talking like phone call, WebEx, whatever. But if you go to Canvas and click on Cisco WebEx, you can join. I've got everything listed for the entire semester. If you have problem finding it, let me know and I can help you out. But that's what I'm going to. So what I'll do is I will go ahead and get on like a couple minutes before these start times. And if nobody shows up in the first 15 minutes, I usually sign off. If you're going to come in later, just send me an email and let me know. The first time I'll probably stay on the whole time just because, you'll have to download data and get it working and stuff like that. The purpose of these office hours it's an open discussion. Years ago, most of the class would attend these, and we would talk about actual issues that people are having at work. We discuss solutions. We actually helped a student find a new job, which was really impressive. She was in a job she hated. It was going nowhere. We found opportunities for her. She interviewed and accepted a new job before the end of class, and I think that's pretty awesome. Awesome power, right? What I want to end with, this went way too long, and I apologize, is a short video. I do a lot of social media, a lot of podcasts with people, but this is just a short from something I'd done with Matt Law. He and I are going to be speaking at an ABC safety conference in Orlando. We just kind of finalized things. I bought my tickets today. But this is pretty cool.
There's this argument about correlation versus causation. Tell me about that, Dr. Todd. What are we looking at?
Most of the work we do is corollary. A lot of the easy to access research articles that are out there are probably sampling at one point in time. So it's like a cross sectional, and they're looking to see if when this variable changes, does this change also? And either they can move together, over changes in the measures, or in sort of an opposite tandem. So there'd be like a negative. So it's a positive or negative relationship. And then you can run basic statistics, very basic parametrics to find out if it's, the variances between the two are statistically significant or not. Okay, that's corollary, and that's what we typically do. To infer causality, you need to have a specially designed study in which you have an original state or state zero, the treatment is applied, and then there is a post-treatment status. That means that you had something at this point, it went through something, and now how did it transform? And with a large enough sample and controlling for enough variables, or at least measuring them, you can determine whether statistically this treatment does indeed contribute to that change. That requires more sophisticated statistics, multiple regression, structural equation modeling. I don't like getting highly complex. I'll use regression, but I've never liked super complex statistics because then you're getting into an area of massive assumption. When we start talking about injury data, work comp data, that data set does not meet the basic assumption of normality. And if we don't have normality, we shouldn't be reporting average. Now we can talk about, distributions and things like that, but I think it would be nice, I think, if our field did more of an introspective evaluation of what we think we know. Okay, so that's just something I wanted to share with you guys. Whoa, that volume thing is going really high. Usually these videos each week will be much shorter, like 10 minutes, but I would like to include some additional content, and I hope you do try and attend some of the discussion sections. I can't award points for the discussion for attending, but the things we discuss in those meetings, you can definitely take straight to the discussion board. And for some of you, that'll be very beneficial, especially those that don't have as much experience or aren't as cool with reading a lot of stuff. We'll cover the things in those meetings if people bring it up. So that's all I got for this week. Great job, everybody. Reach out to me if you got to. Bye.